Yeah, okay. I'll do a review on your movie. Just send it over to me, and I'll have a look, and then the fuck? The fuck is that? Let me let me call you back. Let me call you back. The fuck is that coming from? Hey guys, welcome to Happywax TV. Okay, so right off the hop here, very quickly, I just want to say thank you to everyone. The new subscribers that have come on board, thank you. I can't believe, like, I think we're sitting at like 2,350 or we're almost to 2,500, which is just absolutely fantastic. I can't believe how fast this channel's growing. I mean, we've had almost 500 new subscribers since Christmas come on board, which is fantastic. So, and I just want to say thank you very much, and I appreciate every single one of you. Again, I do my best to respond to comments when you guys, we get conversations going and stuff, but I'll tell you, the comments are coming in. I can't even keep up, to be honest with you, and I'm a one-man show here. So just rest assured, if there's a like and a heart beside your comment, that means I've read it. So I read all the comments. So I just want you guys to know that, and I appreciate, you guys tuning in when I put these videos out. So good comments or bad comments, I love them all. So I just wanted to say thank you. So anyways, okay, so tonight we are talking about Jack in the Box. It just came out actually February 17th in the UK. I didn't really know anything about this movie. I'd never really even heard of it before. But I got it sent to me, and when I saw the poster for it, I'll tell you, I was intrigued just by the little Jack in the Box guy that is on the poster. I was like, okay. So anyways, I sat down and watched it. I didn't really have, sometimes when I sit down and watch movies, I know they're going to suck before I even watch them. But I went in really not knowing anything about this movie. I did read the synopsis before I read it. And I'll read it to you. It's like, when a vintage Jack in the Box is unearthed and opened, its new owners soon have reason to believe the creepy clown doll within has a life of its own. Okay, so I read that, and I also, I read it when I was on IMDb, and I also saw that it had a 3.9 rating out of 10, and I thought, well, I don't put a lot of trust into IMDb anyways, because there's a lot of hatred and bullshit on that website. I do get a lot of info from it, but whatever, you know what I mean? Like, and even with my reviews, like I say, even if I give it a good review or a shitty review, always watch the movie. Always watch the movie, just to see for yourself. I mean, it's so cheap to rent these movies online nowadays. It was like $5. Do you know what I mean? And if you get like a half an hour into it and you don't like it, shut it off. I mean, it's $5 for fuck's sakes. You know what I mean? But anyways, I sat down and I watched this, and I'll tell you, I liked it. I did. I'm not just saying this. I don't owe these people anything. I don't know Lawrence Fowler, who directed it, and he also wrote it and produced it. Actually, I don't know a lot about this guy, but I think this is only his second movie. I think he's still in his 20s, okay? And I think his whole family was involved in this. When I was watching the end credits, there were a lot of Fowlers that were coming up for like costume design and producer and, in the movie, starring in the movie. So, I mean, I think this might have been, and even the production company, I think was Fowler Productions or something like that. So anyways, this guy's family is all over this movie. Now, again, I mean, this is not a perfect movie, and there is tons wrong with it, and I could sit here and be a fucking asshole and pick it apart, but I'm telling you, for the most part, for me anyways, the good far outweighed the bad in this movie. Most notably were the two fucking dolls. The one Jack in the Box doll that kind of has a life of its own, and then the creature, the clown creature that comes out of the fucking box, is killer too, because it's all practical. Even the doll guy. I mean, I'm a huge fan of the Puppet Master movies, and I mean, really, if you break those movies down, and you can beat me up in the comments, most of those movies are pretty shitty. They really are. I mean, the first one was kind of iconic and classic. Do you know what I mean? But if you really want to break those movies down, they're not very good, okay? But I mean, there's some things you have to let go, and the stop motion in those movies was fantastic, and you know what I mean? And it's the kind of the same with this movie. I mean, if you really wanted to break it down, you can make it look like the worst movie ever made, but it's not. It's really good. Now, I will say it is way too fucking long. Do you know what I mean? That's the one thing they should have done, most importantly. I mean, it's only an hour and 27 minutes, but honestly, there are scenes in this movie, okay, and again, this is like a super low budget movie, so where they just, like, there's just scenes that just kind of went on and on and on, and it, unfortunately, it makes you lose interest. You know what I mean? If I can say anything, you know, to help maybe with this next movie, is trim the dialogue down and trim down the emptiness of some scenes, because it went on way too long. Like this, honestly, this movie probably could have been shot at a runtime of an hour and 15 minutes. You would have trimmed off 12 minutes of this movie, and it would have sped things up and kept the pace going. Now, I don't know if they tried to get it to that 90-minute mark because it markets better. I'm not sure, but anyways, that was the one thing, the one huge drawback that I didn't like about this movie was just the fact that a lot of the scenes just seemed to be added in there just so they could hit that 90-minute mark. And it's a shame, really, because, I mean, you know, like the creature in this movie, the clown creature, I thought it was fantastic. He's all practical. I mean, the makeup and the prosthetics look fucking cool. The guy that plays him, Robert Naran, I think is his name. I mean, he's slender, and the way he moves his body to kind of contort it a little bit. I mean, I thought it was great. You know what I mean? So, and actually, you know what? I haven't even really told you much about this movie. So, anyways, basically in a nutshell, it's they unearth this Jack in the Box, okay, at the very beginning, and Casey Reynolds, played by Ethan Taylor, takes it to this museum where he is going to start working, I think, as one of the curators, I believe. But anyways, and then that's where this movie starts. They accidentally actually unlock this Jack in the Box, and then the legend is that you know, once he's unleashed, he has to come and collect 6 victims. Okay, and it's kind of cool too. You know, they give a little background history when they have an appraiser come in. He kind of gives the background history of the Jack in the Box, saying, you know, there's all different types of folklore and legends of what the Jack in the Box is, but this one is going with where they, in the old days, they used to trap demons inside these boxes, okay, and that's what they've done with this one. Kind of like the Cupid story I reviewed a little while ago, that movie, where instead of, like, you know, the Cupid person or creature shooting people with arrows trying to make them fall in love, they went on the route where the Cupid is a demon, you know, that comes to kill you when summoned by death. So, I mean, it's always cool when you take these kind of kids, kind of, you know, fairy tales and stuff and turn them evil, and that's what they've done here. And I don't know, for the most part, I liked it. I mean, most of you will watch this. Well, I shouldn't say most of you, but some of you might watch it. You know how I'm honest. It's long. It's too long. It should be an hour and 15 minutes, and some of the dialogue doesn't need to be there. The other thing, too, that I didn't really like was the fact that they didn't show enough gore. I've said this before, too. If you're going to have a rated R horror movie and it's low budget, I mean, when people like me go into it, I want to see lots of fucking gore because it puts it over the top. And they had tons of potential here and tons of opportunity to really bloody this movie up, and they didn't. Now, I'm going to say, if I get any comments from anyone involved in this movie, they're going to say lack of budget. But again, most of your effects were practical. I mean, I think there was a few shots that were CGI blood, but for the most part, I mean, I've said this before, get a couple of your friends as red shirts, you know, Star Trek red shirts. They all know they're going to die. Bring them in for a day or two and just have this clown guy smoke them. You know what I mean? Like, that's all you had to do. Get some fucking dollar store blood or something like that. You know, just, they had lots of opportunity. There's one scene in this where the Jack in the Box turns into like a saw blade and mutilates this fucking lady, and they hardly even show it. And I'm thinking, you know, opportunity lost here. It's really too bad. So Anyways, that's all I'm going to say about this movie. Right now, it's got like a 3.9 on IMDb. I'm going to give this movie like a 5, maybe a 5.5. Again, it was too long, which took the pacing out of it, and they really dropped the ball, I think, on the lack of gore. But hey, the creatures made up for it. You know what I mean? And I love that he kept it mostly practical, which was fantastic, which is always thumbs up in my book. And again, this is only this guy's second movie. At least that's what I read. So I really am going to keep my eye on him, and I hope we see more of them. And this style of movie, I really do like these kind of fairy tale creature feature movies. So anyways, it's out now. It's called Jack in the Box. I'm going to give it a 5, maybe a 5.5. If you've seen it, let me know what you think about it. And if you haven't, go rent it and then come back and chime in. And if lastly, if you're involved in this movie and you happen to see this review, I'd really appreciate, just maybe a comment or something letting me know why you didn't do more practical gore. It's a question I have, and I felt that it really could have enhanced this movie a little bit. It is a creature feature at the end of the day, and it would have been nice to see a little more blood and guts. Just for the most part. So, but I just want to know why. So anyways, Jack in the Box, make sure you check it out, guys. And until next time, stay scared.